Hello, I'm Will Ross.
And hi, I'm Mary Grace.
November 11th marks the annual Veterans Day that we celebrate each year.
Americans honor veterans, people who have served or do serve in the military, on this special day.
This day marks the end of World War I. It ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. This was marked as the first Veterans Day, or as it was known then, Armistice Day.
And today we will be talking about veterans in the military. The military means a lot to me. I've had family members that serve in the military, and I am thankful for the people that continue to serve.
I agree, our country wouldn't be the same without our veterans.
Veterans don't just serve for glory and honor, they serve for their people,
their country,
and of course, the flag.
My service for the Forgotten War, as many call it, is not forgotten to me. My time spent in Korea, as difficult as it was, is a time that I will never forget. Through it all, I learned the appreciation of life. No matter what happens, we need to live positively. God bless America.
From being a soldier in World War I in 1917, I would say to me, being a veteran means sacrifice. Back then, we were still using 18th century war tactics against modern day weapons, and for a veteran, that was a very bloody battle.
I was a nurse in World War II. We trained in things like field sanitation, mental health, and the administration of anesthetics. We had to serve under fire in field hospitals, hospital ships, as flight nurses on medical transport planes, and more. It was very scary at times, and some of us were even killed. But in the end, every single minute was worth it because I was able to help contribute to the war effort and fight for my country, America.
I miss my family. I hope they're doing okay and having fun. I have 2 daughters, Riley, Grace, and Hannah, and 1 son, Carson. I love my country and I'm proud to serve, but I haven't even called my family in 3 weeks. I bet they're worried just as much as I am. If I want to call them, I have to wait in line for hours and I'm not even sure if they're going to answer. There's a lot of us moms here, but I'm here to serve and make my country proud. I promise to do my best to serve my country and my family.
My position in the Revolutionary War led to our independence. I was once just a farmer on a small farm, but when I was called into the war by a commander, I couldn't say no. I'm here to fight for my country's rights, freedom, and independence. I'll do anything to save my people from that king.
The North against the South. Can it be true that we are fighting America against America? This has to be the darkest moment in our history, and I am part of it. Grant has been a great leader, but our foxing General Lee has been difficult. Let's hope the North wins.
Did you know that thousands of women joined the U.S. aircraft industries and we made up 65% of the industry's total workforce? I was a star of a campaign that aimed at recruiting female workers for defense industries during World War II, and I became a symbol for the working woman. Us riveters used a gun to shoot rivets through metal and fasten it together. It required a lot of muscle and skill. I love my country, and it was an honor to help the war effort.
November 11th is a day set aside to honor another veteran. That other veteran is a flag. That flag is usually overlooked and taken for granted. But yet, that flag has been to every battle, every war, and represents our freedom.
And I'm wondering if you can share about your Alive Day.
Yes, I have had some pretty some pretty great Alive days as far as like remembering and how do you have an Alive day? What we do is we actually celebrate the life that we've, I guess you could say we're currently living, the life that we have now, because, you know, many of us, you know, when you get in the middle of an explosion or IED or get shot, there's a potential that you could have lost your life. And in some cases, people have died. You know, like my case, I died several times and I came back. Thank goodness for the doctors that were there, and thank goodness for all the amazing people in my life that helped me and allowed me to be here today. So my Alive Day is February 19th, 2007. I was with the 10th Mountain Division still in Iraq on that second deployment. My Humvee was hit by an IED that they estimated to be 700 pounds of explosives buried in the road. Now, when I first started telling this story around the hospital, and this is really how it happened, I would tell people, you know, 200 or 300 pound bomb. You know, I didn't know. He was the S3 while we were there. One of the officers, he said that they did an investigation into the IEDs that were happening at that time, because we had so many of them going off during that time frame that they had to start investigating and figuring out why, what, how, and trying to prevent further incidents. He said that my IED was estimated more at like anywhere from 600 to 800 pounds of bomb buried in the road. So yeah, I'm just rounding it right at 7. Regardless of the size of the bomb, it was big enough to blow my Humvee to pieces. It blew 3 of the 4 Humvee doors off, and the entire top of the Humvee got blown off. And I lost 3 friends. I lost my gunner, my 2 dismounts, Sean Duncan, Matthew Bowe, and Adair Cleveland. And these 3 men were good men. They believed in what we were doing. They were like me. They had great intentions. They were there to help people, not disrupt, not misrepresent, not be bad, not do anything but help. That was our mission. That was what we wanted to do. I was knocked unconscious in the initial blast. I woke up as an NCO. I started trying to call up a radio report because I was the truck commander. Key in the hand mic. I wasn't hearing anything on the radio. I remember looking over and I could see that the cable was burnt off of the hand mic. And it was like I was looking through straws. Things were real fuzzy. So I knew I had taken a hit, but I didn't know how bad my injuries were, how extensive I was injured. So I'm trying to focus, trying to look around, trying to take in everything, and I could feel the heat around me, you know, because the truck was still on fire. Still on fire. I start pushing on the door, and as I'm pushing on the door, I look at my arm because it felt funny. I'm pushing on the door, and it's like crunchy, it's sore, it's hurting, but it just felt more funny than anything. And I looked, and my uniform was melted into my skin. And I remember thinking to myself, that's gotta hurt. But it wasn't hurting, so I still knew I needed to get out of the truck. I started trying to push on this door, and I still don't know how I got out of the truck. They said that one of the guys ran out there and retrieved me, whether it be he helped me out of the truck or whether he ran out after I got out of the truck. Whatever the situation was, is he ran out there against orders because he was with me on my first deployment. And they thought that I was already dead because I had went through 2 explosions The first explosion was the IED. And while I was unconscious, they started helping my driver. And while they were helping the driver, they got him away from the vehicle. The AT4 that was in the back of the truck cooked off and caused a secondary fireball, which injured me even more. And they was thinking, well, if he wasn't dead from the first blast, he's certainly dead now. As it turns out, I woke up and I'm kicking, trying to get out of the truck, and they see my buddy trying to come out there to get me, and they're like, no, it's too late. You know, don't go out there. And he goes out there anyway. And he gets me away from the Humvee. As we're either before or during this transition, my body armor is on fire and it's melting. The material, the plastic covering is melting and running down my leg, and I can feel it burning me. So I had to take my body armor off. As I get the body armor on the ground, I get the fire put out that's there on my body armor, and I realize that it's probably a good thing I got that fire put out, because it was my ammo pouches that were on fire. So I had 200 plus rounds on my body that was about to start cooking off. So fortunately, you know, dodged that bullet, literally. Now, when Sean Reed came out there and grabbed me, it was like my ears popped and I could finally hear things. And then all of a sudden I started hearing bullets popping and zinging around me. I mean, literally just zing, zing. And he was shielding me with his body to get me away from the Humvee, which my first thought was, great, now they're shooting at me. You know, I thought they were shooting at us from the tree line. And what was actually happening is the bullets inside my Humvee that I was standing right beside still, all the bullets inside the truck was cooking off. So he comes out there, puts himself in harm's way, gets me up there and lays me on the ground, and they start CLS on me, combat lifesaver stuff, trying to get me stabilized. They're getting the helicopter. I can hear the helicopter like that. It's like everything just seemed to happen really fast, really smooth. Everybody's intense. You know, like all these facial expressions, and I can see their eyes just looking at me kind of horrified, and they're like, you're gonna be okay. And through all of this, I know I'm hurt, but I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm cool, I got it, you know. And it's like I'm starting to be more cognitive, I'm starting to understand things a little better, and I'm not in pain or anything, I just feel weird, you know, like really weird. You know, I don't know how any other way to describe that. It's just, but I'm laying there on the ground, and I hear the helicopter, and everybody's, you know, telling me, dude, you're gonna be all right. I'm like, I know, it's cool, I got it, you know. And I start asking where my friends are. You know, I'm asking where my crew is. I'm like, where's my crew? And they're like, dude, don't worry about that right now. We need to take care of you. And I'm like, no, where's my soldiers? Where's my guys? And I saw Adam, you know, when I first got out of the truck, because I started barking orders. You know, I'm like, hey, y'all, blah, 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 start doing this, start doing that. And dude, Adam's a big guy. He's over there. I can see he's got his bones sticking out of his arms, like blood everywhere. And anyway, so I knew he was alive at least. But I'm asking where everybody else is, and nobody knew, or nobody would tell me at that time. They just kept telling me, dude, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. We got you, we got you. And the helicopter gets there, they get me on the helicopter. Crew chief, same thing on the helicopter. He's like, we got you, man. I'm like, I know, it's cool, I got it.
I think it's interesting because their voice, they're saying one thing with their words, but you're seeing different expressions.
Exactly.